Hi, I'm Allison Rosenberger, and I will be presenting to you my personal creative project. So for my personal creative project, I decided to make soy wax bubble candles. And so I chose this because I've done things similar, like I've made t-shirts with like crickets and heat presses, and I've made epoxy cups. So like this kind of stuff is like stuff that I like to do. I just haven't had the time to do it recently. And so I thought this was a perfect opportunity to make my candles. So the supplies that I had to buy were I had to get molds, and I chose to do the bubble molds, but you can get so many different kinds of molds. There's so many different ones, easier ones, harder ones, and you can even make them in the glass containers like traditional candles. The next thing you'll need is candle wax. I use soy wax, but you can use beeswax. It's kind of like a personal opinion. Soy wax is more like environmentally friendly and it's softer. It's a softer wax. And then optional is colors. As you'll see later on, I used colors, but it didn't work out very well. And then scents. There's multiple different kinds of scents. You can pick the scent that you like the best. So some struggles that I had with my candles was like the first batch that I made. First off, the colors would not like incorporate with the wax. It kind of looked like oil and water, how it was just like little bubbles. And you'll see that in the candles, that the color just kind of soaked down to the bottom and it's just little splotches of color. It's not like incorporated all the way through. And then I found out with the molds that it's very hard to get the wax out of the molds without the little bubbles breaking. So my first trial run I did 3 candles and one of them came out okay, like one bubble broke. So I kept that one and like kind of glued it back together with the other melted wax. And since I didn't have too much wax left, I took the candles that didn't work out very well and I took my heat gun and like melted it back down so that I could reuse it. And so I made one more candle that way. So things that I wanted to know were like what kinds of colors and like what kinds of bases do I need and like the different kinds of scents. And so like my expert for this video, or like for my personal creative project, her name was Sophie Hannah. She was a YouTuber. So I watched multiple different YouTube videos on how to do the candles and like what supplies you need. But her video was the most helpful and I got the most information out of that. And then I learned that the molds I chose, like I said before, the bubble molds were very hard to do because they're so intricate and they're so tight that to get the perfect candle I actually ended up using an X-Acto knife to cut it out, which I did break the mold that way, but I have 2 other ones still. And I also still don't know why my color separated, and so that was like one of the biggest fails, is that my candle is completely white with like color on the top and never fully incorporated in, and I think the cause of that was I used soy wax and not beeswax. And yeah, so I'll put in some pictures towards the end of this video and so you can see how I did.